Welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. Hello, and how's it going? As you can see, I am wearing a finished object. This finished object I started back last summer. I got all the pieces cut. I did put the bodice part together. It is made out of muslin that I got from Walmart. It is a rustic muslin, and then one of the inner pieces has more of a finer grade of muslin because I ran out of the thicker parts. I wanted a rustic apron. I liked the picture that I found. This one. Simplicity, what is it? S9835. I wanted an apron, but I never do anything simple. So I'm going to stand up. I'm going to push this back. As you can see, it has two pockets. I did not attach the pockets all the way. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. I could just go back and re-sew it, which I may. It has the same as the back as the front. Now I'm going to take it off, but I have to take off my microphone as well. It is very hot. It has ties. Okay. Oof. Whew. Let's set ourselves up for success. Oops. I don't think I'm doing a very good job. Okay. All right. Hello again. How is it going? Okay. So, as you can see, the bodice here, I was looking at my work. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not great. It's a very, there's a little bit of a mistake made right here. This is an apron. I don't plan on winning any awards with this apron. I wanted to teach myself how to put simple things together, although this was probably more difficult than I anticipated. That's why I only got the bodice part sold last summer. So it has this really nice rustic linen, not linen, muslin, not linen. And then on this one piece, I have the finer grade. I think if I had made it out of this finer grade, it would be a lot more versatile for different weather. This is a very substantial apron. I did not do some things correctly, obviously, but I did do the ties correctly. I got them to be its own facing. Essentially, some step in here I missed. I did not understand, but you create your own facing. I did it for the ties. Yeah, let's see. I did it for the ties. You can see that it's nice, but you're supposed to do the same thing with the skirt. And I can see I didn't go all the way over here as well. So that is a weak point. But by that time, I was pretty much fed up with this project. To be perfectly honest, it was taking, I thought it was going to be a simple thing. I could just knock it out. It has this technique for the bodice, easy peasy. I'm teaching myself. It has this part for the skirt part, easy peasy. I'm not even combining the two. I just have to create a hem, so to speak. I did my own hem. I kind of followed directions where it was like 1 3/4 inch of a hem. So I turned it over 3/4 of an inch, ironed it, turned it over an inch, ironed it, and then sewed down right along here. Like I said, it's an apron. I had to keep telling myself that. You're not wearing this to a ball. It's just an apron. So when I did the front, let me see, where's the front? When I did the front, it's very hard to show. I gathered the skirt, sewed it together, right sides together, and then, as you can see here, so this is the hem part, or whatever you call it. Anyway, I sewed it together here, but then this part was sticking up and it was rubbing me right here, and I don't like that. It would bother me, and I thought, I know this was supposed to be turned under, but I didn't know how to turn it under with that much bulk, because it's like, it would be like this thick, and my needle would be like, my sewing machine would be like, F you, man. So I decided I didn't want to fray anymore, because this rustic muslin frays a lot. So I just tacked it down here, and I thought, let's see if it worked. And I mean, you can see it from the front, but it's okay. And I figure it's fine. So that was a great learning experience. I think it's really cute. I don't mind wearing it. Like if I was working in the kitchen on a nice cool fall day, or let's see, I don't want to wear it on a hot and humid summer day like today, or winter when you're cold but you don't want to wear a sweater in the kitchen. I am very particular in my kitchen. I cannot have sleeves that come down to here. I can barely have sleeves that come to here. I have to have movement. I don't know why. It just is the way it is. And I also don't like getting my clothes stained. So if I was making something, say like with blueberries or cherries, I'm thinking of things that stain really well, or like say cranberry sauce and it's splattered. If I was wearing this over a t-shirt or whatever that I didn't want to get dirty, and it got dirty here, well then that just adds to the classicness of this apron. I will go in and fix some of these weak spots after I change my sewing needle, because, you know, it's struggling after what I put it through. So I also thought about embroidery. You know, would this look cute with a little bit of embroidery? Yes, but I waffle. I'm waffling a lot. You know, having a little bit of a flower on your pocket would be super duper cute. But do I want this as a workhorse apron or as a showpiece? And I'm kind of leaning towards workhorse. Anyway, so there's that. Now, the rest of my stuff I'm going to talk about today are whips. Like I stated, I have to change my sewing needle because it's struggling and it's time for it to get changed, because I have made a considerable, quite a few, a considerable amount of jar covers, different size bowl covers. These are the big ones. And then this is a medium sized bowl cover. And the reason why they look weird at this moment is because I do have the elastic through the edge, as you can see. Little side note, long time ago, I think it was 2018, maybe 2019, I saw this fabric at Walmart and they had it, I think it was 3 yards, no, 1 yard for $1. Yes, because I bought 3 of them, so I had 3 yards for $3. Isn't that cute? Strawberries. And I kept it in my stash thinking, oh, I'm going to make this. Oh, I'm going to make that. And then it just, you know, do I want to wear strawberries out and about? Maybe not, but look how cute that this is a big bowl cover. Now, I spent quite a bit of time last week working on my sewing projects. I cut all the pieces out. One day I did batch work. I traced all the pieces, cut them out, set them aside. The next day I ironed them, sewed around, so you put right sides together, sewed around, and then ironed them after I trimmed them. And then I turned them out, ironed again, sewed the other channel. You can barely see it, it's right here. So you had the first channel, turn them out, trim them. I trimmed them with my pinking shears for simplicity, and also for that ease of the circle. And then I sewed them down. It always takes a lot longer than I ever think it does. Sewing, I don't know why. Time seems to just, and I am moving very, very slow. But that's fine, I'm learning. So then, let's see if I can take this one out. You can sew the elastic together via the machine if you are so talented, comfortable. It's fiddly. Too fiddly for me. So I had both pieces of the elastic after I strung it through, and I had them clipped like this, you know, but it was like clipped like this. So then I sat for 2 different sessions at night hand sewing the 2 pieces together. And I really enjoy hand sewing. It wasn't a chore. It was actually a nice way to do something, and I have become in the mindset of if I'm doing something, no matter what it is, I'm getting something done. Because you can feel, and it's very, very strong, you can feel like you're never doing enough. You only have so much time in the day, and yet you feel like, why didn't I get all this stuff done? How come I didn't get this done? Well, as long as you're doing something, whether it's cleaning your house, working on a project, taking your dog for a walk, you are doing something, taking care of your family, making food, whatever it is, writing a letter, you know, doing things that improve your life, reading, embroidery, journaling, whatever it is. So now, once I change the sewing needle, because it's very dull, then I will go back and sew this section together, and it'll be all enclosed, and then voila, done. I think, I don't know how many, but let's see. I have 3 big bowl covers. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 medium bowl covers, so that's 8. And then I have 5, I believe. I think I have more. It's just 6, 7. Yes. So 3 bowl cover, large bowl covers, 5 medium bowl covers, and 7. I'm going to put the numbers over here because I don't remember. 7, I believe, jar covers. I might have 6 medium. Anyway, so I have quite a bit of sewing to do. But once all this is sewed up, they're done. And that'll be that. Now, let's get into the knitting. Now, we have entered the last week of July. From now until the end of the school year, we are going to be busy. Busier than I ever thought we would be busy. I'm going to stop right there. We are going to be super busy, and it does relate to one other thing, but I forgot to show you one thing I have sewed, and it is very, very dear to my heart. So I made these panels like 3 years ago. They are old crib sheets from my daughter's time as a baby. she never slept in her crib. So I was repurposing these sheets. As you can see, they're kind of different sizes, and they're kind of patchwork together because I was making face masks out of those sheets because I didn't have any fabric at that time. I have fabric now. I have quite a bit of fabric that I want to use. So then I embroidered these little motifs. This one is my favorite with the little rabbit. And then I'm going to show you the other piece. And I also like this other mushroom. Aren't they cute? Okay, so then I was waffling. Do I make this into a memory quilt? Do I make this into a bag? How do I do it? I'm very confused. And then I made my project bag, and my daughter really, really liked it. And I said, well, what do you want? Do you want this as a bag, or do you want this as a memory quilt? And she chose bag. She chose, I said, well, I have to quilt the two pieces together. As you can see, they're not perfect. And I just did straight lines except for like around the hedgehog's nose, for example. Or like I went in between the mushrooms or around the animals and the mushrooms. But for the most part, they're straight lines. I don't know if you can see that on the camera because I used white thread, her choice. So I ironed them. This is just a polyester batting I got on sale at Walmart. Now, I'm in a conundrum with this in the sense that I don't know what I want to do next. Do I piece these together as a bag, or do I put a lining on it and then piece it together? So I'm kind of in this in-between area. I have to trim it to, I have to trim it. And then I also have to, the reason why I didn't put a backing on this time is because my needle was getting really dull and I thought it would be too much fabric. But I didn't want to change my needle yet because I was going through all this fabric. I know, I don't make any sense. Anyway, I just wanted to show that. Now, boop, boop, waiting. I am now waiting in the car. Presently, my daughter is at a health class seminar. No. It's put on through the CVTC is a local community college, and they do a lot of medical stuff, and my daughter is interested, and so through the high school and CVTC, they have a program where you get to take a bunch of different medical fields that they offer and get acquainted with them. So that's what she is doing right now, and that's why I can podcast without interruption, because whatever. But now I drop her off and pick her up, and there's these little bits of waiting time. She is going to be starting school activities. There's going to be waiting time all the time. So I'm like, well, I make dishcloths. It's the perfect project to bring, to sit in the car and wait. You know what to do, you know how to do it, and whatnot. So it's perfect knitting time. I have already completed 2. So technically speaking, I keep track, so I know I have to make about 70. That's just a good estimated, and if I have, say I only give away 60 to my coworkers, well then I have 10 more to give to other people if I so choose. So I have made 3 so far, and I keep track on my notes app. This is number 4. It's just a simple project. This one I believe is 36 stitches across, and then I have 3 stitches of garter on each side, and I do 3 garter bumps down below as well as top. And I have decided, because I was going through, Walmart the other day, and they don't have a lot of cotton yarn available. Plus, it went from $1.90, I think it was $1.98 per skein. And you know, they're not, I don't have an example, but they're not that, you know, they're the peaches and cream. This is just leftovers. Now it's $2.53. So it increased like 60 cents, 55 cents, whatever. It's expensive because now I have all these pieces from years past. You know, I can make 2 dishcloths and have a little bit left. And I have all these little bits. In fact, I have so much that I have a 2-gallon bag full of little bits plus some skeins that I have bought before it went up in price. So, you know, I have a lot to say about that, but I'm not going to. So it's a good stash busting project. It's a good waiting in the car project. It's a good project to work on when it is so hot. If you hear noise around me, I do have a fan pointed directly at me because it is a hot and humid summer, and you know, life is too short to be miserable. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about, I didn't get a lot done on this, but I did work on it a bit, and it is the the Ripple Camisole by Jessie Maed Designs. I'm going to put up information in the picture so you can see it better. I did about a half an inch. I didn't do much at all. I decided, I'm looking for my glasses. I decided last week after podcasting that I really wanted to get my sewing projects more completed. And I worked on them, I believe, Wednesday, Thursday, and partially Friday. Yeah, I worked on them a lot. And it takes me a long time. I'm a very slow sewer. Very slow. And I don't know if that's just the nature of that craft, but I just am. So I moved my marker. Where is it? I moved my marker. I'm using my 4 square needles I got from Knit Picks. They're the laminated birch, I believe Sunstruck. I like it. It's a fun pattern. I was working on it, watching a movie with my daughter, and it was very, very nice. It's light, it's cotton. I've talked about it a lot, so I'm just kind of, I'll put all my information and briefly move on. Now, the thing I have been working on consistently, because I really want to get it done, and I'm just trying to get something done. That's my motto. Get something done. No matter what it is, get it done. And I really do want a winter hat. And so I said to myself, you know, this is something that is going to be very useful relatively soon. And if I get it done, all the better. And then I can wear it. And I'm looking for the pin. Oh, there it is. Okay. Last time we discussed, there's the pin right there. You can barely see it. But I just measured from tip to here is 15.5 inches. According to the directions for the Musselburgh Hat, adult small, child to adult small size is, you want to knit it straight for 17 inches. To adult medium is 19.25 inches. And I am going to lean towards adult medium in length, even though I'm doing like an adult small in, what am I doing? Yeah, I don't know. I remember doing the gauge thing and it not making sense, but I did 120 stitches around, which according to Ann Budd's book, is more of an adult small than an adult medium, but here it is an adult medium. So I did 120 stitches, and I think I'm going to do 19¼ inches down. So that means I need to do another 3¼ inches. It goes really quick. It goes really, really quick. I am using double pointed needles. They're 8-inch needles. They're from Knit Picks, the laminated birch leaf Sunstruck. I really like them. I really like doing it with double pointed needles. It doesn't seem like, in my mind, I knit a needle and I'm like, ooh, I got something done. I knit a needle, ooh, I got something done. When I'm doing circular, it just never seems to end. Some people like that. I prefer this. So I have, so it's a 4-square top. You essentially push it together, make it a long tube, and then stick it into each other. I do want a thick brim. That's why I'm opting for the larger, longer size. I am using Knit Picks palette, which is a 2-ply fingering Highland Peruvian wool. I'm just looking for, there it is, the pin. And it is squishy. I think this is going to be very warm. I like the coloring of it. It is a marled yarn. I think the color is Briar Twist. It is a discontinued color, but they have a lot of variety on their website. I am not affiliated with Knit Picks. I just like their stuff. And I have this much remaining out of 2 50-gram skeins. I have already used, I had a partial skein and a full skein, and then I ran out of the partial, and then I have a little bit left from other project. And this is a stash busting project. I want to get some of my yarn used up, and this is a perfect example of how to use up yarn, make it into something extremely useful. It is methodical to knit this. It is relaxing. I have, since I'm using a double strand of yarn, I have dropped one of the strands sometimes as I knit. It is a relatively easy fix. You just ladder back and use a crochet hook and redo. This yarn does stick to itself, which will come in handy later on when it is blocked and it blooms. And then, let's see, let's move the marker. Okay. So, it is very close to being done. Another few inches, then you do the decrease. The decrease as the increase, I believe, will be 3 inches. So technically speaking, I have 6 more inches to finish. And I mean, I don't have to go to 19¼ I could go to 19, you know, split the difference. Yes, I really enjoy this project. Would I make another one of these hats? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. So it has been extremely hot, as it has been all over the world. But when you're, oof, I don't want to break it. My cat, Tallulah, who's sitting over there cleaning herself, was crawling all over my stuff. And she knocked over a bunch of things. And this was one of the things she knocked over. And thankfully, none of the needles broke. I was really concerned. I thought she had broke the needle. And I was like, no, what would I do? Because I don't have another set. Anyway, yes, hot, humid, wonderful. The end of July is busy. All of August is busy. I will be working 3 jobs starting in August. My school job, ticket booths, and food truck. I am working a lot these next couple weekends at the food truck, and that will impede some of my progress of my projects. But you know, you do what you can and you keep on going. That is my motto. I do plan on doing more sewing. I need to do more block projects, whereas I'm cutting all the pieces out, laying them all together, so then the next step I can take is sewing them all together. I was at Target yesterday with my daughter buying her some clothes, and I was just looking at stuff while she was trying things on, and it was so boring. But I was also like, oh, I really like this fabric. You know, I feel stuff. I really like this fabric. I wonder what this is. And then, you know, oh, they're pants, you know, because they're wide leg or whatever. And I put them up to myself, and I am extremely short for nowadays people. All the pants that I put up next to me are at least this much longer than my leg. If I, this is kind of funny. If I buy pants at any place, I buy capris, and they're pants for me. So, yeah, look at how pretty that is. This is part of the fabric I received free, and I just did a simple fabric on the inside. These you can use for, you know, covering dishes for the fridge, letting bread rise. You could just say like you're fermenting something for a short period of time and it has to sit at room temperature. You can put this on it instead of plastic wrap or a Ziploc bag. Yeah, so I'm going to work on this. Maybe not today because I don't have a lot of time, but you know, it's been a good summer so far. The extra money has helped. The camaraderie at different things I'm doing has helped. And, you know, c'est la vie. That is life. Now, I will see you again next week at this time. And I hope everyone is doing well. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.